Hi, this is Anthony, and tonight we're going to be making Zeppolies. Zeppolies is a traditional Italian dessert that's made with four very simple ingredients, and I'll show you how to do that now. Let's get started. Okay, so in order to make Zeppolies, you need very few items. You need 2 cups of water, 2 cups of all-purpose flour, 1 teaspoon of salt, and 2 packs of active dry yeast. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the 2 packets of yeast in, and the water. Okay, and we're going to mix that around just a little bit. Just to break up the yeast a little. And we're going to let that sit about a minute and a half, I guess, until the yeast starts to activate with the warm water. You got to use warm water. The water needs to be about 116 degrees to 120 degrees. So just warm water, not hot water. Too cold of water and the yeast won't activate. Too hot of water and you'll kill the yeast. So make sure that your water is right at 116 or 120 degrees. So we're just going to let that sit for about a minute. Okay, our yeast and water has been sitting for about a minute and a half, 2 minutes, and you can see that there's bubbles are forming all through it, and that means that the yeast is activated and it's working properly. So at this point we're going to add the salt and then the flour. So we'll add the salt. Mix that up. Then we're going to add the flour. We just add the whole thing in. Doesn't make a difference. And then mix this up real good. You want to get all the lumps out, so just mix and mix and mix and mix. You can continue to use your wooden spoon, or you can switch to a whisk. But you want to make sure that you get all the lumps out of it so it's nice and smooth. So what you're going to wind up with is something that looks like that, and it's a very light pancake battery kind of looking solution. And that's okay. It looks like it shouldn't be a dough, but that's the consistency of Zeppoli dough. So I'm going to mix this for another couple of minutes. Okay, so I mixed it for about 2 minutes, and it's nice and smooth. It's a very smooth consistency. Now what you want to do is you want to take a blanket or a towel and put the towel over your pot, and then I put a plate over the top of that as well. Now I'm going to let it sit just on the counter there, or in any warm area, for about an hour and a half. And what's going to happen is the dough is now going to rise and get fluffy. And in about an hour and a half, we're going to have fluffy dough, and we'll be ready to fry it and eat it up. So I'll see you in about an hour and a half. Okay, so it's been about an hour and a half, and let's check on our Zeppoli mixture and see how it's risen. Looks beautiful. Looks like it's about twice the size of what it was. As you can see, all the air bubbles through it, so it's risen very nice. And you can actually see it rising as we sit here. You see it bubbling. Great. Just about ready. So before we make our Zeppolies, since they're just about risen all the way, we need to put on a pan of oil. And I use canola oil. I just use a basic Wesson canola oil, pure 100% natural. And I do about 2 inches in a saucepan. So we're going to let that heat up to about 370 degrees. Okay, so we have our oil that's hot and ready. We have our batter mix, which should look just like that. And I have my spoon, my ladle spoon, that I line with a little bit of oil. It's a little trick I have to keep it very lubricated when I'm putting it in. So I grab a little bit on my spoon and we're going to drop it in, and it's going to make little fun shapes. So it's frying up our Zeppolies. We're going to let it cook a little bit on one side and then flip it over. About 30 seconds on each side. Let's see if they're ready for a spit or a toss. Not yet, just another few seconds or so. So they can get a little golden brown. But they're very, very light and airy, the way that these Zeppolies are made. Some people make them with a little bit thicker batter. I make them nice and thin. Get the little pieces out of there. I make them nice with a nice thin, so they're very, very light and airy. Starting to brown up a little bit on us, which is perfect. Let's get a little flip over. I think this one will flip on me over again. Just flip this one back over. Okay, so there's 2 ways to eat Zeppolies. There are Zeppolies, nice and cooked. And there's 2 ways to eat them. One is the way that almost everybody knows, and that's with powdered sugar. Seems the way that we always eat it. And another awesome traditional way is with honey. So you have powdered sugar, and yummy honey. Anyway, enjoy. I hope this video helped anybody out that wants to make Zeppolies. They are delicious. Eat them when they're hot. That's when they're best. Bye-bye and enjoy. Buon appetito.